New in the civil case against Casey, attorneys for Zenaida Gonzalez are asking a judge to force George and Cindy to respond to certain questions they would not answer. In sworn depositions this month, both were hostile and refused to answer questions they thought were outside the scope of Gonzalez's defamation lawsuit. Her attorneys disagreed. The questions have to do with whether Casey stole from their accounts, whether Cindy asked Dominic Casey to look in the woods where Kaylee's remains were found a month later, and what efforts the family made to try to find the babysitter Casey claims kidnapped Kaylee. And another key figure in the case against Casey is asking a judge to block Jose Baez's attempts to access her phone records. Amy Huizenga has filed a motion asking for a protective order from a subpoena filed by Baez. Huizenga argues that the subpoena is too broad and constitutes harassment and is an invasion of privacy. Huizenga was a close friend of Casey's while Kaylee was missing. Casey told Huizenga the smell of death in her car came from a dead squirrel. Roy Krunk filed a similar objection. He's that former meter reader who found Kaylee's remains in December. And two more moves by the state today. Prosecutors have turned over to the defense hundreds of pages of discovery evidence, including interviews with bail bondsman Leonard Padilla's employees. One of them, Tracy McLaughlin, spent more than a week in August in very close contact with Casey inside the Anthony home. Also today, the state has added 6 more expert witnesses. Most are from the FBI crime lab.
And tonight at 11, only on WESH 2, we go one-on-one with Casey's attorney, Jose Baez. We're asking the questions you want answered.
This week, we had a chance to sit down with Jose Baez and ask him some of the tough questions that many of you have been asking. One of them, how do you plan to explain that so-called smell of death in Casey's car? In George's interview with the FBI back in August, he said, I was a deputy sheriff for 10 years. That smell in the car, unmistakable that it was the smell of a decomposing body. How do you plan to explain what the smell was in Casey's car?
We really don't believe that science is really ready for prime time or a court of law.
That's just one of the tough questions we'll be asking tonight at 11 o'clock as I go one-on-one with Jose Baez. I'm Bob Keeling reporting for WESH 2 News.